Hi everyone, welcome to ZyNerd's Ultimate Guide to NEET MDS 2024. This is the first examination guide that we have taken up for this academic session, and ZyNerd starts with MDS this year. Over the last 2 years, there have been a lot of requests from MDS candidates on information for MDS. Since we have been doing PG and most of the candidates take information from ZyNerd for PG, so after a lot of effort, we have come up with the complete information package for NEET MDS 2024 over a period of next 1 hour, and then over session 2 over this weekend. We will be covering the entire NEET MDS seat scope and the list of counselings these seats come under, along with what you need to look for in terms of eligibility, the process, and approaching the entire counseling. So we will start with the entire counseling this session with looking at the courses, institutes, and counselings that these seats come under. We will also be looking at the eligibility for different counselings. There are more than around 20 to 25 counselings which include an all India counselling and the state counselings. We'll be looking at how to look for eligibility for each of these counselings. We'll also be looking at the possibilities and how to decide on which counselings you need to attend, what information to look for in each of these counselings, the certificates and documents required. The exam is already over, and what are the certificates and documents that will be required at a later point in time. When do you need to get these certificates, what you should be ready with in terms of documents or applications to be done before the counseling starts. We'll also be looking at the process and sequence of counseling, which is very important, since knowing the rules and regulations of the counseling and managing the entire counseling process accordingly is what will get you the best seat for a rank that you're going to get. And finally, we'll also be looking at the evaluation of seats. How do you evaluate different seats? What are the factors that you need to look at? You're getting into a very important phase of your career. You shouldn't miss out any important factor that needs to be evaluated before even you get into the counseling process. So in this session, the session 1, we will be looking at courses, institutes, and counselings, and on the eligibility of counselings. And we will move on to the other 4 items in the agenda in session 2, which will happen a few days later. The courses, obviously we are looking at MDS as a course here, and we have multiple specialties within MDS which we will be looking at. The institutes, what are the different categories of institutes and why are they categorized into these different buckets is something that we'll be looking at. We'll also be looking at the institutes category wise split of seats as well. Let us say we are looking at state government dental colleges. How are seats split in state government dental colleges, and under which counselings do these seats come under? That is something that we will be looking at for the different category of seats, category of institutes. We have the state government dental colleges, central universities or institutes are there, Armed Forces Medical College institutes are there, AFMC Pune has dental seats, and you also have deemed universities and state private institutes or private dental colleges or universities. So these are the different category of institutes that we will be looking at. And the counselings, all India counselling is a central counselling that happens, and beyond that you also have the state counselings. Each state has a separate counselling. We will be looking at those counselings, and also the Armed Forces Medical College seats. How do you get into those? What is the process of registering and applying and attending the counselling process? We'll start with the courses. Obviously, we know that the degree is NEET MDS, for which you have already attended the exam on March 18th. The expected date of exam results is April 18th, right? And then we would be looking at the further counseling process at a later point in time this year, possibly, because the NEET PG exam happens in June, and usually the MDS and MDMS counselings happen together in fact with the same dates as the timeline. What are the courses? We have around 9 courses listed down here. After completion of your BDS, you will be able to through the NEET MDS exam, you will be able to get admission into any one of these 9 courses, and for these 9 courses you will have to attend your NEET MDS exam, which obviously you don't know. There are around 270 plus colleges in total. Some of these are medical colleges offering MDS courses, some of these are dental colleges by themselves. and of which only 39 odd colleges are government colleges. Along with AFMS, the total numbers are around 40. Beyond that, you have around 90% or 85 to 90% of institutes which fall under either private institutes category or deemed universities category. There is a distinct difference between a deemed institute and a private institute, which we will take up at a later point in time. There are around 32 deemed institutes and 200 plus private institutes across the country. Unlike MDMS or unlike BDS or unlike MBBS, you have a larger set of private institutes under dental, in the dental scope. So these institutes are in different states, and that is when your decisions, that is why your decisions become very, very important in terms of how to manage your the best seat for your rank, because the decisions on eligibility, the best seat for your rank, the decisions are based on rules are very, very important. We look at the set of different different types of institutes one by one. We had mentioned that the institutes are categorized into 5, right? What are those? The state government dental colleges, central universities or institutes, AFMS, and then we had the deemed institutes and state private colleges. Within each set of institutes, how are the seats split? Like, let us say I am looking at a dental college, government college of dentistry, Indore, and there are these many seats in each of these specialties. How does the counseling happen for these seats? How are the seats split and how many fall under which counseling is what we are going to look at. This we will look at for every category of institute. The division of seats or split of seats depends upon the type of institute. So all the institutes which are state government dental colleges offer 50% of seats under the All India counseling. 50% of these seats are surrendered under All India quota. Under which counseling? All India counseling. So the rest 50% from state government dental colleges come under the state quota, and every state individually conducts a counseling for this. Let us say we are looking at R. Ahmed Dental College and Hospital, Kolkata. Then the state government of 50% of seats would go under All India quota in All India counseling. So if you are looking at that 50%, you will have to look at All India counseling, and the rest 50% comes under the state counseling, which is conducted by the government of West Bengal. So that is how it works. Who are eligible for the All India quota 50%? Every qualified candidate who has cleared NEET MDS 50% and above to start with, every qualified candidate is eligible for All India counseling seats. So the first 50%, everybody is eligible. The rest 50%, which comes under the state quota, the eligibility for that depends upon the state eligibility rules. Each state will have a different eligibility rules. There will be many candidates who or other BDOs or other informers who might mention that the eligibility for a state depends upon either BDS, having done BDS at the state, or being a native of the state. But this is not something you take from anyone else. Just look at the exact eligibility in the brochure, because eligibility may depend upon BDS being BDS from the state. If you have done your BDS from the state, irrespective of the native, you might be eligible. Or only residents or domiciles of a particular state might be eligible. Or native or origin of the state might be eligible. Or if you have done your school education from the state, if your parents are employed in the state, you are employed in state government or central government in the state, based on property owned to, eligibility varies. Each state has distinct eligibility criteria for this 50% state quota. So look at the state eligibility rules if you are looking at a state government institute. A sample list of state government institutes are mentioned over here. These are cut across different states. You can look at these. This is an example to tell you that these institutes contribute 50% to All India counseling and another 50% to state government quota. Now note that there are other government institutes which are not under the state government's purview, like central institutes or universities. Usually under the medical domain, you have Delhi University, Aligarh Muslim University and Banaras Hindu University offering medical seats or dental seats. As far as BDS is concerned, you have DU, AMU and BHU. Under DU, you have 3 institutes, Lady Harding, Maulana Azad and UCMS offering MDS seats, and AMU and Banaras Hindu University are unitary institutes within those universities. 50% of these institute seats, MDS seats under these institutes, once again are surrendered to all India quota, and every candidate across India is eligible for these set of seats. The rest 50% usually, like like we saw in the state government institutes, they are called state quota, correct? But here there is a distinct difference. They are institutional quota, even though they are coming aligned to the state quota, they are institutional quota seats. Who is eligible? Those candidates who have done their BDS from the respective institutes, their undergraduation from the respective institutes are eligible. So as far as DU is concerned, if somebody has done their BDS from Lady Hardinge or Maulana Azad or UCMS or any other dental institutes within DU, if that exists, they will be eligible for the rest 50%. The difference here is that even this 50% institutional quota seats come under the All India counselling. They are allotted through All India counselling. So let us say you are a candidate who has done your BDS from a dental college in Karnataka. You will be eligible for 50% of these university seats through All India counselling. Let us say you are a candidate who has done your BDS from a Delhi University Institute. Then you would be eligible for 50% of seats under All India quota. You will also be eligible for the institutional quota seats, which also comes under All India counselling. You will have to apply only under All India counselling for these seats, but you will be eligible for both sets of seats. Now, AMU and BHU might have additional criteria in terms of when you passed out from the institutes. You should be a BDS from those institutes, and you should have passed out within these years, last 3 years, last 2 years, etc. Look at that additional eligibility criteria. So if you are a candidate who has done their BDS or from these universities, this is the second part. Then we have the deemed universities. Deemed universities are those universities which are central in nature. Basically, they do not come under the purview of the government of under the state governments. So these deemed universities, we will come to the list of deemed universities. These are the institutes. In case you have a confusion regarding which institutes are deemed universities and which institutes are private institutes, the distinction clearly is that this is a set of deemed universities. There are around 32 deemed universities which we mentioned. All are listed down here. In case there is an addition, we will come up with that in ZyNerd at a later point in time. So all these institutes are deemed universities. They come and they are central in nature in terms of getting the deemed to be university status approved by UGC. They don't come under the purview of the state government, which means everything is central, right? So 100% of deemed university seats come under the All India counselling. So if you want to take up an institute seat under the deemed university, your only way of allotment is to attend the option is to attend the All India counselling and get allotted through All India counselling. Under that, deemed university seats are split into two sets. One is 85% of seats which come under the management quota. Every candidate across India is eligible for this set of seats. Then you have the NRI quota. If you are an NRI candidate, you yourself is an NRI, you are an NRI, or if you are sponsored by an NRI sponsor, you are an Indian citizen, you have not been abroad, you are not an NRI, but within a set of clear rules defined as to who can sponsor you, like your parents, your grandparents, your first level cousins, uncle, maternal uncle, paternal uncle, maternal aunt, etc. So this is clearly defined. If someone who falls under that list sponsors you, they are an NRI and they sponsor you, then you can also avail this set of 15% NRI quota seats. We would have separate sessions on NRI eligibility, the criteria, the documents required at a later point in time. But as of now, understand that 85% of deemed university seats are under All India counselling, and the rest 15% are seats under All India counselling under MNG quota, and the rest 15% are NRI seats. NRI candidates are eligible for NRI seats. Everybody is eligible for the 85% All India seats. There are two institutes. One, KM Shah Dental College, which is in Vadodara, and Yenapoya Dental College, which is in Karnataka. So these two dental colleges offer seats for minority candidates. KM Shah has seats for Jain minority candidates, and Yenapoya has seats for Muslim minority candidates. So if you belong to Jain minority or Muslim minority, and if you had applied under NEET MDS exam as Jain or Muslim minority, you will be eligible for these seats. You will have a list of documents that are required to be submitted for claiming the religious minority seats. So what are deemed universities? Without getting confused into whether they are central in nature, state's purview, etc., All deemed university seats come under All India Counselling. These are the list of 32 deemed universities that you are seeing on screen. And beyond this, if there is another deemed university, we will intimate you. ZyNerd will intimate you when there is an addition, if at all there is an addition. So if you want these seats, attend All India Counselling. Next, there is an exception. We said all seats of these 32 are available under All India Counselling, right? Every seat. We said 85% plus 15% are available under All India Counselling. The only exception here is a list of 3 institutes from Karnataka. There are 3 institutes: JSS Dental College, Manipal College of Dental Sciences in Mangalore, and Manipal College of Dental Sciences in Manipal. Both are under the Kasturba, basically you would know that they are under the Kasturba Society. So these 3 institutes, dental institutes, offer a small percentage of seats to Karnataka State Counselling. All the other dental institutes, the 32, offer 100%, among the 32, 29 offer 100% of seats to All India Counselling. These 3 alone allot most of the seats to All India Counselling, but there is a small percentage, 5 to 10% of seats, which are available under the Karnataka State Counselling. In case you belong to Karnataka and you are eligible under the Karnataka criteria for these deemed university seats, you fall under the criteria, then you will be able to get these seats, possibly at a similar fee structure or a slightly different fee structure. Check on those. So if you're looking at these 3 institutes alone, you might have to, and you belong to Karnataka or you fall under the Karnataka criteria, you will be required to apply under All India Counselling as well as under the Karnataka Counselling for availing those small percentage of seats. Beyond this, we have the AFMS seats. AFMS is Armed Forces Medical Services. Under this, under dental, basically for MDS, we have seats in AFMC Pune. The registration process for this is through MCC counselling. All seats are allotted through AFMS Central Counselling, but the registration is through MCC, which conducts the All India Counselling. So when MCC opens up the registration for All India Counselling, you go to the portal. If you are interested in AFMS seats alone, AFMC seats alone, or if you are interested in both AFMS seats and the All India seats, go to the portal, and when you are asked whether you wish to choose AFMC, check AFMC and say that I want to attend AFMC as well. If you don't do that in the first round, you will lose a large set of seats which are allotted during the round 1 in AFMC. After checking, saying that I am interested in AFMS, if you still don't attend, there is no issue at all. So always check AFMS and keep that option open. After you register, after the registration is over, MCC sends the complete list of candidates who have registered to Armed Forces Medical Services, and the committee then calls for a counselling, which is a physical counselling at AFMC Pune. That will be at a later stage, but as far as the registration is concerned, it is through MCC. Don't miss that out. How are AFMS, what is the other eligibility criteria for AFMC Pune? 1, the candidate should be less than 30 years before December, as on December 31, 2024, which means the candidate's date of birth should be on or after 1st Jan 1995. So this whatever we have given in terms of criteria is based on what was the criteria last year. We've extrapolated it for this year, but in case there is a change in criteria, we will let you know. Second, AFMS MDS seats are allotted based on priority. Be very clear about that. So priority is AFMS seats, AFMS candidates, whoever has applied for AFMS, they are bucketed into different sets. The priority 1 is all eligible serving officers at AFMS, those who are serving in AFMS. Second, foreign students sponsored by the government. Third, you have dental officers sponsored by the paramilitary forces or other government organizations. Fourth, you have Short Service Commission AFMS officers. And fifth, you have civilian doctors. So basically, after priority 1 is allotted, all AFMS serving officers are allotted till the last rank. If there are seats left out, priority 2 will be allotted, and then if there are seats left out, and so on. Only after priority 1 to 4 are allotted, civilian doctors will get seats in case there are any seats which are left out. So where do you go and check for notifications? AFMS website is provided over here. Link, you can use this link for notifications. Where do you register? Under MCC. How are the seats allotted? Based on priority. Will there be seats for civilian doctors? Should I fill in AFMS check and apply for AFMS during MCC registration because it is after priority 4. The only suggestion that we have, which is a strong suggestion, is that you apply at the time of priority 5 counseling. After priority 4 is over, if there are seats left, then you can go ahead and attend. It is a choice that you have. If you don't have any seat that you are interested in, or there are no seats left, there is nothing, no disadvantage you had just because you applied. So you will not have a disadvantage. Go ahead and apply and then take a call later. And then finally, we come to the biggest chunk of seats, state, private institute or university seats. You would possibly have around maybe around 5,000 odd private institute seats across, MDS seats across in India today. So this is a huge chunk, forming almost around 70-75% of total seats. And these private institute seats are all allotted to the state counseling. There is no admission that happens directly in any private institute, be very clear. All admissions happen through a counseling process, which the regulatory authorities are now trying to do online. There might be leftover seats at a later stage which are allotted, but if you are a ranker who is looking at a seat, the first step is to, even before approaching the institute, the first step is to look for the proper counseling process. There is a lot of seats which are still left over after the proper counseling process. So you can always get a good seat in the proper counseling process. So apply for the state government counselings that you are interested in. So how are these seats allotted? 100% through state counselings, but the quotas may vary across states. Some states may have 50% of seats under government quota. So 50% of the private institute seats. Let us say we are taking a private institute in the state of Tamil Nadu. Then their 50% of seats in the private institutes will come under government quota under a different fee structure, lower fee structure. The rest 50% may come under the management quota. Similarly, in Karnataka, a different percentage of seats might come under the government quota from the private institutes, and a different percentage might go under other different quota buckets. Karnataka has many such quota buckets. So the split of quota differs across seats. But what you know is the counseling happens through the state authority. You have to apply through the state authority. Within that, there are a certain set of seats within each state. Like it can be 50%, it can be 15%, 20%, which from these private institutes, which are available for all candidates across India, not necessarily the candidates from that particular states. These states or seats are called open states or open seats respectively. Now, open seats are those seats which are available in a private institute in a state for every candidate across India. So some states might not even allow other state candidates, but many states do allow other state candidates. So you'll have to look at those seats in case you are looking those open seats in case you are looking at the private institutes. There are certain states, like for example Madhya Pradesh, which will allow only other state candidates only from the second round, which means in the first round every state candidate till the last rank will take up seats, and then beyond that during the second round, if seats are left over, other state candidates will be able to fill up those, get those seats through a proper merit-based allotment. Now, these rules and regulations may vary across states, and that is why you need to know how the counseling happens across each state for government seats, and now like we are mentioning for private seats as well, and how the split is across different quotas and how many seats you are eligible for within this set of private institute seats. Last thing that you need to know is also about 3 states which have separate counselings. All the states have a single counselling which encompasses this entire 100% state private seats. There are 3 except 3. Which are the 3 states? Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu have 50% of private institute seats under a government quota counselling, for which the eligibility is separate, prospectus is separate, registration is separate, and another 50% which come under the management quota counselling. So the seats are split into 50-50, with 50% having a separate counselling along with the government seats, and another 50% which is called management quota, which has a separate counselling for which you have to apply separately. So in these 3 states, let us say we take an example of Andhra Pradesh. If you are an other state candidate and you are eligible only for the management quota seats, you will apply for the management quota counselling, whereas you will not be eligible for the state quota counselling. In all other states, this happens together. The state government quota plus management quota seats are allotted together, and so you will apply for a single counseling if you are interested in the open seats too. So this is how it works. So this entire process for each state, we will take you through one by one as we move ahead in the process of the counseling. For all the subscribers, we will have a complete exclusive videos on what are the different counseling eligibility rules for each of the state counselings and how these seats are allotted. And in ZyNerd, you will have complete information on the allotments of each of these seats, the closing ranks cutoffs of previous years and the current year updated immediately once the counselings are over and the allotments are published. And throughout the process, we will be supporting you for getting the best information that will help you get the best seat for your particular rank. And the second part we are getting into, this is more of a summary of the set of seats that are available and the quotas and who is eligible for those seats and how you need to apply. This snapshot will give you complete information on that. Now, this is based on All India Counselling 2023-24 and State Counsellings 2023-24. As of now, we only have that reference, right? We don't have a reference of the next year's the counselling brochure, etc. That will all come up possibly in June. The counselling is expected to start in the month of August, I believe, and then go on till October. So, and the most likely you will be starting your sessions from September timeline. That is how it looks like based on the last notification. This will be in parallel with MDMS as well, is what we think, like every year. The results may be announced a little earlier than expected around April 18. We will just wait for that and see whether the counselling starts early for MDMS, which may not happen, but let's wait and see. So this is a snapshot of how the seats under All India Counselling. I am going to apply for All India Counselling. What are the seats that are available for me? That snapshot is available here. One, every state government institutes MDS course, 50% of those seats are available under All India quota. What is the name of the quota? All India quota. Under which counselling? All India Counselling. All India Counselling has many quotas, of which All India quota is one quota. Within that, one set of seats are state government institute seats, 50% of state government institute seats. So within each specialty, a specialty has 4 seats in a medical college in Karnataka, which is a government medical college. 2 seats will be allotted to All India, 2 seats will be allotted to the state, 2 seats allotted to All India Counselling are under the All India quota. Who is eligible? Every candidate. This is completely domicile free. Every candidate across India is eligible. The second set of seats, 50% of seats under central universities, under DU, AMU, BHU. Exactly similar, 50% are available under All India quota. Every candidate across India is eligible. Merit-based allocation happens rank-wise based on your choices. And third set of seats, deemed university seats. 100% of deemed universities, except those 3 exceptions that we spoke. All deemed university seats are available under either management quota, NRI quota, or Jain minority, Muslim minority quota in those 2 institutes that we discussed earlier. And these are all available under the All India Counselling. Every candidate across India is eligible for the management quota seats. NRI candidates or NRI sponsored candidates are eligible for the NRI quota seats. And finally, we have the rest 50% from central universities. We talked about this 50%. The rest 50% from the central universities like DU, AMU, BHU. Those are available under DU quota, BHU quota and AMU quota. These are the different institutes that are available, the quotas that are available for those candidates who have done their BDS from their respective universities. Like DU, if you have done your BDS from DU, then you would be eligible for the Delhi University MDS seats for this 50%. What quota are they? DU, BHU, AMU quota for the respective BDS candidates, institutional quota basically. Note that All India quota, DU, BHU quota have reservation. That is why they have been marked separately over here. The constitutional reservation of OBC, SC, ST, EWS, PWD for 5% horizontal is applicable for these quotas. And there is no reservation under management quota, NRI quota. JM and MM by itself are a minority quota. They are minority quotas by themselves. The nature itself is a minority quota. Now, this is how the entire All India Counselling set of these are the different quotas under the All India Counselling, and you see that for all these set of seats you will have to register under mcc.nic.in. MCC is Medical Counselling Committee, which conducts the counselling for every seat under All India Counseling, and within All India Counseling, always know that All India quota is one quota, which is 50% of government seats or central university seats under All India Counseling. Don't confuse the terms All India quota with All India Counseling. All India Counseling has many quotas, of which All India quota is one quota for which every candidate is eligible for. You also have AFMS institutes, like we mentioned. AFMS institutes are from the allocation is based on priorities, priority 1 to 5 that we discussed. All candidates are eligible for priority 5. Basically, civilian candidates are those who do not fall under priority 1 to 4. Everybody is a civilian candidate. Only after the priority 4, 1 to 4 are allotted, every last till the last rank, the first ranked civilian candidate will be allotted. You will have to register under mcc.nic.in for this, and you will also have to later appear for a counseling physically at the venue at Pune after you have registered. Don't miss out registering in MCC. In case you are interested, even in a single seat, you can always take a decision at a later point in time. State counselings, the seats are split into two. One, state government institute seats. Already they contributed 50% of these seats under All India quota. The rest 50% come under the state quota. Who is eligible? State-wise eligibility differs. Don't go by someone saying that you have not done your BDS in this state, therefore you are not eligible. Go through the brochure or go through ZyNerd's YouTube videos, which will give you complete clarity on who is eligible. So there will be multiple criteria like BDS state, domicile or resident of the state, native or origin of the state, your school education, your employment in a state government or a central government in that particular state, your parents' residence, domicile status, their nativity, their origin, spouse, whether your spouse has done BDS in that particular state, you might be a local in that state, in certain states, etc. Your spouse's domicile, nativity, lot of criteria are there. So ensure that you read through the prospectus and then you know your state government institute quota eligibility. Similarly, you will also have the state private institutes, 100% of seats split into multiple quotas. Each state has different quotas, so we are not taking it up together, otherwise it will confuse you. We will do it state-wise later. For all the subscribers, we'll have exclusive videos on state-wise eligibilities, and will hold your hands till the end of the counseling, so that you get complete information on every rule, regulation, process, etc. to get the best seat. Here, these seats of state private institutes are split into different quotas, and the counseling happens through the state counseling. There are 3 states which have a separate counseling. Note that as far as state counselings are concerned, you can be eligible for more than one state, even for government institutes. A candidate who has done their his or her BDS in a particular state and is a native of a different state might get eligible for the government seats of 2 different states. This is actually under a lot of debate, but as long as the rules permit, you will be eligible. Only thing is, you cannot claim domicile of 2 different states or origin of 2 different states, but if through different criteria itself, like your parents of origin of one state, you have done your BDS in another state, through 2 different criteria, you might be eligible for the government states of 2 different states. Even otherwise, you're not looking at government institutes, let us say, then you might be eligible for the open seats of other states. Like certain, all the open seats are in private institutes only. No government provides open seats, state government institute seats as open seats, unless nobody opts for those seats, certain set of seats which nobody opts for. But most of the open seats, the best of the clinical seats that you have are open seats which are available. Some of them are available for, in some states are available for other state candidates too. You are eligible for those seats. If you are eligible, you can apply and avail those seats. Note that irrespective of whether you are eligible for open seats which are in private institutes or for government seats in a different native state, a state which you are not native or domicile or resident or origin of, you will not be able to claim reservation in that state, but you will be eligible for the government or private. You may be eligible for the government or private seats. You will be able to claim reservation only in your home state, because you need a certificate in your for claiming reservation in your home state. This is applicable only for the state counselings, whatever you mentioned now. All India counselling, central certificates of OBC, SC, ST are enough. For All India counselling, there is a central reservation. You will be eligible based on your reservation criteria. For states, only in your home state you will be eligible for. So that difference and very, very minor, significant differences, even if minor, we will be taking it up when we do the state counselling sessions. We will move on to then part 3, 4, 5 and 6 as we move forward, where we will be discussing on the possibilities and deciding which counselings to register for. You will have an option of, let us say, 10, 15 counselings, and you're looking at multiple seats. How do I decide which ones to prioritize based on last year's data, seat increase, what will be possible for my rank, what are the factors that I'm looking at, etc. We will discuss in the next session. And we will also be discussing on the certificates and documents required. When should I take my OBC NCL certificate? Is my SC/ST certificate valid now? PWD, what happens? When do I need to get my certificates? I have these certificates, do they work? Other than that, what all certificates do I need in terms of your passing certificate, completion certificate, registration certificates, etc. We will discuss in detail over the next session. We'll also be looking at the factors that you need to look at during evaluation in the process and sequence of counselings, which is very, very critical, because last year they made a big change in terms of the process and sequence, which, if you understand better even before the counseling starts, will help you in making the right decisions. So throughout the counselings, we will be there for you to help you out as a process. We will be running live webinars and exclusive sessions on states and other counseling rules as we move forward till the end of October, which is expected as of now, or till the end of the counseling, to help you out get your best seat. All the best to all the MDS students. This is a new step that we are taking in terms of getting into MDS to help out students across the country, for dentists across the country. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. Wish you all the best. Just to the rule. Allah